over the last year or so, Sid has been kind of migrating a little bit from working full-time at the church into developing this Salty Sid influencing business and reaching out. And there's a bit of a change coming. Sid, what's happening? Tell us what's happening in your life.
Yeah, so there has been a bit of a transition. So from being employed by the church, you started contracting with the church to allow space to build a business, Salty Sid, which has been really great. And we're coming to a stage now where Salty Sid is kicking off quite a bit, and I've got quite a few trips lined up for the end of the year. And so basically what's happening is we're doing the transition has happened, so I'll be going full-time with Salty Sid. Because of all the trips that are lined up, it doesn't make sense I wouldn't be able to still be working here. So the transition and what's really going on is I'll be transitioning completely to Salty Sid and not being contracted or employed by the church anymore.
Okay, so we're going to explore that a little bit, and that's not all. So just tell us, Sid, like, is this like brand new? Like, you were like fully engaged in church, and now you've suddenly found a passion for fishing, or like this is something that's been in your life for years?
Yeah, it has been something in my life for years. I actually just was reminded of, I think when you and Lee just arrived, we did like, it was the old building, and we were getting to know each other, and there was a question about, what's your dream job? And I remember like my dream job was to take people fishing, and I remember Phil saying, no, he's living his dream job. And I was like, I felt like so convicted. I'm like, okay, well, this should be my dream job, and like I need to refocus. This is like what's going on. And so, as you mentioned, so it's been something that's always been there. I've always been passionate. I grew up in Black River on the beach, and from an early age, I've been in the ocean. I was with my parents this week, and there's a picture in our house of me sitting in the back of a boat. Dad took the picture. It was a long, long time ago. And I said, but why did you guys, it's an old picture, it's like not even like it's all pixel, it's on paper, and I'm like, why do you guys, like I've got so many nicer pictures of me with fish, where I look a little bit better than that. And they're like, no, that speaks of you and your character and who you are from the beginning, like all the way. That has never changed. That's one thing that's been one constant in your life. And so the passion for the ocean and fishing has absolutely always been there, yes.
Awesome. So I said, is this now like checking out of church? Like, are you like, okay, I've done the church thing, now you're going out there, you're an elder at Redeemer Church, or are you staying an elder in Redeemer Church? What's your feeling about church as you change your employment kind of scenario?
Yeah, I think that's been a bit the hard thing for me, because I've got such a heart for the church. I absolutely love the church, and I think that's maybe why the transition, I'm glad it's been a long transition, because I probably needed to process that over the past year. Because I did feel at the beginning that, well, if I went into the business world, if I transitioned, I basically would be letting go of the church, and so it's been really great to, like, I love this church. I want to serve here. None of that is changing. The only thing changing is my job. I'm not working for the church anymore, but I'm fully committed to the church, and I absolutely love the church, the people, the ministry, the influence in the community, the different things that are happening in church. I'm staying in. I think even eldership, I don't feel like, it's a season where we're stepping down from eldership and all that. We love people, we want to serve here, and we don't feel like the season that we called into is one of removing from the church at all in any way, but more of one of exploring Salty Sid.
Okay, so just for clarity, Sid and Cheryl will remain on the eldership team, like Carlo and Moya are marketplace elders, and Jonas and Ketia at this stage. So Sid and Cheryl will be in the same kind of position, still serving on the eldership team, still in every way in a leadership capacity as they have been. What about ministry out there? So do you see what you do in Salty Sid as ministry? How do you see that job?
Yeah, so I think at the beginning I felt like it couldn't be real, because I love fishing so much. Like I gave up fishing to serve in the church. So I was like, what's going on here? And as we've explored, taken the year, to look at, what does it look like, the opportunities for ministry in that space have been just amazing. Just to be able to, in the boat, out of I'll just share one story, you know. We went to Ireland, St. Brendan Islands. It's about 400 k's up north of Mauritius, and there's nothing there. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no signal, like there's nothing. You're really out, and you're out there. There was about 8 men on a boat out there. And it's amazing how you get to know one another personally, and questions come out in that space that wouldn't come out usually in the norm. And then people are willing to ask questions because nobody else is listening. And I just realized just the amazing opportunity that I had to minister in those spaces. And I really felt like the calling to be in that very space, to be able to minister to those different people out there. So definitely, like I'm actually really excited, and I look at that with anticipation to see what God has got in store for me out there.
Awesome. Last question. Are there some things that you feel like along the way that has felt like it's God opening a door, God blessing you in that business as you've explored going that way? Share us something of God's work in your life as you've taken those steps.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I was being careful not to jump the steps there. I think it has been amazing. Just like we keep on saying transition, today's the last time we talk about that. But I've had great support from the elders, so we've prayed, we've spoken about that. I think the eldership of this church is absolutely beautiful, and that's been a massive blessing. I've had support from outside as well. We do, Nick and Kati, when we were there, so was it 2 years ago?
May last year. We went there. So it's great to share relationship with outsiders because they don't know, you know, the everyday that's going on. The elders know the everyday. So when we speak in that forum, it's more like the everyday. But they don't know the everyday. They know the person, the character, and more or less. And to have their support as well. And there's a couple who married us, Kieran and Glenda. They lead a church in Cape Town. They had no idea, and when we mentioned that, and it's just been great to see how everyone just kind of confirmed. I met Harry, who we all met here after the conference on that May, and he was a fisherman. We didn't know each other at all, and we just, like I said, Harry, I need to pull you 2 seconds. Can you sit down and talk with me? Like, yeah, for sure. And we didn't know each other at all. That was like first chat, like a little bit intimidating, but I just went for it. I felt stirred, and I was like, this is what my life looks like. This is, you know, my passion for fishing. You're a fisherman, you know the passion. What do you feel? And he was like, go for it. Maybe my problem is I was speaking to evangelists and the guys are just like, keep going. But I've just had an amazing support with people surrounding me and just blessed in that way. And like I've mentioned, clients as well, where there's something of God that's revealed in the trips that we go out that I really value. So, yeah, I think I've had the full support, and everyone that I've mentioned it to has also been a great support. So I think for me, that's been God on this journey. Awesome. Anything else you want to add, Sid?
No, I think thank you. I think thanks for, just the support, hold me in prayer, please, hold the church in prayer. And I think the great thing is I'm not going anywhere, so I'm still here. And I'm looking forward to seeing the journey. I think it's also an opportunity there's things that I won't be able to do in the church anymore, and maybe you look at those and you're like, oh, well, I never wanted to do it because Sid was doing it, you know. Sid's not doing it anymore. Maybe jump in there, go see Phil, go ask, listen, what are the things, where can I jump in? I think it's a great opportunity to plug into the church as well, and that's how I got plugged in. I started there was a few tables in the back, and I arrived and nobody was doing the tables, so I started putting tables out. Alex will remember. And then slowly but surely just wanting to get plugged in. And so if you're new, there's a great opportunity to get plugged in many ways. So
awesome.
that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks,
awesome.
Phil.
Thank you.